You're watching the Rejected Gamers podcast.
Hello viewers and potential listeners. If we can get this into some kind of website where you can listen it at. My name's Sam.
My name is Ree.
And we are the Rejected Gamers, and this is the first of our Rejected Gamers podcast. Name to be fully decided.
But for now, Rejected Gamers podcast.
Rejected Gamers podcast.
Rejected.
We're French. We are French. So we're here to talk about some French.
Yeah.
Au revoir, or n'est pas avenir. I'm wearing a French t-shirt, so, it's quite fitting. Anyways, yes. So we're going to start with a kind of channel update. We're changing a few things around in our content-wise. Monthly challenge we recently just finished. That's kind of gone.
Yeah.
That's done. Let's Plays, we're going to take a break from those for a while. One thing that we both really loved was our monthly one-shots. Right, where we kind of had footage of a game that we talked about. We talked about that particular game. It was almost podcast-like.
Yeah.
So we was like,
Let's just do a podcast. Let's just talk.
Yeah, let's just go podcast. So that's what we're here to do. If you have any suggestions of a better name as well, other than the Rejected Gamers podcast, please let us know. Hit us up, social media, comments below, whatnot.
Yeah. We know we'll come up with a better one, but we want you to come up with a better one.
Yeah, get some all of our two fans. Kind of,
come on.
Get the community going.
We're counting on you.
So, what we're going to talk about today is games that we played in the last year. I know a lot of places are doing games of the decade, because obviously the decade is over.
Oh, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal, apparently. It is a big deal.
Yeah.
Technically, I think the decade is over, isn't it, in 2021, but we'll not get into that. But obviously, a lot of places are covering that. We was going to, and towards the end, we are going to mention our games of the decade, or what we think.
Slight mentions.
But what we're going to do with this is the games that we played last year. We're going to do our personal top 3 with a couple of honourable mentions of the games we played in the last year, which was 2019.
Yeah.
Because that year was a bit shit for games.
Yeah. We'll get into that, I'm sure.
We will indeed. The games that are in our list, not necessarily
from
have to
2019.
come out 2019.
Yeah.
It's got to be
games
what we
played.
Games,
our favourites.
Our favourites that we played. So let's just cut into it and go straight with our honourables.
But if you disagree, then you're wrong. So
if you're wrong with this, then you either playing the completely wrong fucking games.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm looking at your list, and to be fair, your list is actually not bad.
My list is nothing.
I've played everything on your list, not necessarily this year.
Yeah.
But I have played
True,
everything on
actually,
your list.
yeah. My list doesn't, maybe 2019 was a perfect year. It's
There's
just the
nothing
games I
in your
played.
list that's out from 2019.
Yeah.
I've got two.
Maybe 2019 was a perfect year for games. It's just the games I played were better. So
it was a perfect year to catch up on games.
Yeah.
Perfect year to catch up on games you haven't played. What we're going to do is a couple of honourable mentions each. So we'll throw down to your first honourable mention of a game that you played this year. Didn't make your top 3.
Honourables.
What
Okay.
an honourable one you've made.
Super Smash Brothers.
Which,
It was out late.
It came out
2018.
late 2018, so
Yeah.
a lot of people, some people have considered it a 2019 game.
I would.
It came out December, I think.
would. It's like the movies. It's like when a movie comes out at the end of the year.
Oh,
They
depends
only
if
want it
it's
for the
an
next
Oscar
year.
thingy.
Yeah.
I think at the Game Awards it was nominated for Best Fighting Game this year.
I
even
agree.
though it came out 2018.
I agree with that.
I do have Smash.
Yeah.
I actually paid for the stupid edition that came with the GameCube controller and the little thing you plug into the Switch to plug in the GameCube controllers. I've never really played a Smash game before. I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I really did.
Maybe there is a nostalgic thing for me where I grew up playing it. It was my first game on the 64.
You played 64 version?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. So maybe that's why I love it
There's
so
only
much.
8 or 10 characters in that, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's about 5 million in
but
Ultimate.
Do you know what? That's one thing I will say about it is they can go back to that. They can.
Well, I mean, that was the
cut it
thing
down a
with
bit.
the new one, Ultimate, is they put in every character
Yeah.
that
yeah,
they've
yeah.
ever had. So you got Bayonetta,
Yeah,
Cloud,
chucked them
Solid
all in
Snake,
and got some extras in as
Pichu.
well. But
They nerfed characters. Like Cloud was not as good as apparently he used. He's still my main.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that
But
later
that's
on,
the
I'm
thing.
sure.
You find your main, you're gonna
I mean, yours is
destroy
Kirby, isn't it?
anyone. Yeah, Kirby
is
or King DDD.
Oh yeah, King DDD. My girlfriend, I think, is a big fan of like King DDD as well.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
likes her heavies. I like
Yeah,
Cloud,
yeah.
just because I love you can charge up his limit break and just unleash cross slash. It's fucking brilliant.
No, I think there's fancy ways of like recovering from falling off the stage, and because that's what will
deep
kill
for a
you
fighting
more.
game.
Yeah. That's what will kill you more is falling off the stage. So.
Yeah, no, that's you have to learn. Cloud's not very good with recovery. Well, I'm going to move to one of my honourables. Didn't make it to my list, and to be fair, it was very difficult to figure out an honourable mention of mine. And I actually went with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. The reason I went for this, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a great game by any stretch of the imagination. It's a good game. It's not a great game.
It's okay. It's nice.
But I think for me, it's an honourable mention because the only Pokemon game I played other than that properly was the original Pokemon Red, which I got Pokemon Red because I had a yellow Game Boy Pocket.
Was my first
and
Pokemon,
Red Pokemon, the red with the yellow, worked for me. Didn't have Pokemon Pikachu because it wasn't out then, but or yellow. But yeah, Pokemon Red was the only Pokemon I played, and obviously the Pokemon Let's Go games were kind of a remake of Pokemon Yellow, but the Kanto region, the red and
I think they
blue.
were like testing waters.
Yeah, they were kind of a remake of that game's story, that game's setting, like the Lavender Town and the fucking creepy music and the fucking creepy pastas and all that shit. So I think that it's mainly because of pure nostalgia reason it gets an honourable mention for me, because I did actually play quite a fair bit of it and enjoyed what I did play of it. I got my Pokeball right there in front of me.
Did you use that actually?
A little bit at a time. Yeah, I bought the version that came with the Pokeball controller, and I used it for about an hour.
Did you ever take it out?
And then I played it for the 34 minutes.
Did you ever take it out for the steps and stuff? And,
I did actually. I took it to work with me. Yeah. To be fair, I mainly got it because it came with Mew. So that's the reason I got it from Mew. But I mean, it kind of works okay-ish. It makes cute Pokemon noises when you've got a Pokemon there and you can make them happy.
I think,
you know, it's Nintendo, it's a gimmick, it's what you expect.
That's what that game was for, was testing waters.
Testing waters, I mean, I've not played the new Pokemon game, but from what I gather, they've put a lot in that, which they kind of used in the Let's Go games. Yeah. From what I gather, as in there's Pokemon in the overworld and stuff like that.
So, it kind of goes that way, But
so that's my honourable mention. Your second honourable mention.
I do have a second, because I don't have many 2019 mentions, but another game that I have not put down. Well, this year or last year, or
one I can't really comment on much because itself
since it came out.
Overwatch. One I've not played.
Overwatch. I think it's the perfect fucking video game. You pick it up and you don't want to put it down. That's it.
That is that's a mark of a good video game. But I mean, I do the same with Candy Crush. So is that a good video game?
Wow, that's a good point. Is it?
To be fair, from what I've heard, a lot of people enjoy it. A lot of people like it. I've played probably the whole of 30 minutes of it. I'm not, you know me, I'm not good at first-person shooters. I don't really play online games. It's not. I know you do. Like, you've been a fan of. Well, I won't say a fan of. You were into the Division and the idea of that kind of game. You're into
I was into the idea, but I didn't like that game.
You
but
like your first
Borderlands,
I
love Borderlands.
Your multiplayers.
And I think with Overwatch as well is like the team kind of spec. This has gone back to like Team Fortress 2. Did you ever play that?
About again an hour, 2 hours maybe. I
played
a little bit. I played a bit with Tom actually.
Okay. Yeah. In a video last week.
Altered Beast video. Tom, I played with him in the past.
No, that's kind of what it is. It's like, doesn't really matter if you're good at being a good first-person shooter or anything like that. You build a team. You know, you get a good team. You find your class, and
from what I gather, it's proper multiplayer, as in you actually have to work.
Oh, you have to. Yeah. That you know.
Don't they say it's like it's very similar to the kind of, I can't remember what you call them. The kind of things like Dota, where it's like it's also multiplayer, but it's click and point. But it is, you've got your class,
You got to talk to
you've
each
got your
other.
team. It's
Yeah.
like that, but it's a shooter. And Overwatch is Blizzard as well. The people who did World of Warcraft and stuff like that.
Yep.
So you know it's obviously going to be high class, like quality
Those
production.
guys.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I know you've been a fan of it for a while. So you play it. It's your kind of go-to game when you got nothing to play, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it'll take me like a little nudge, maybe a little like persuasion to play it, but then as soon as I get back on,
Pick it up then.
I won't put it down. I get obsessed with it, but yeah, love it. Honorable mention just because that is one game I've
played a lot this year.
all year. Yeah.
Cool. I couldn't actually think of another. I'm trying not to cough.
I'm sure you did have an honorable mention.
I thought I did have another honourable mention, but I decided to go for a dishonourable mention. And this is a game that I think you probably agree on me. For a game that I played last year, that also came out last year, I honestly thought it would be a game that I would really enjoy. You thought the same.
Yes, I think
We both thought we were gonna. We're not gonna say what it is yet. We
Yeah.
both thought we were gonna enjoy it. It's,
I did. I generally did. We were really excited
and we
to play
did
it.
get a bit of fun out of it towards the end.
Yeah.
If you've watched any of our videos, you might have been able to click on what it is now. I will mention before I mention the game, it's one of those games that I had, and I traded it in, and I you know me, I mean, you can see all my games. If I got a game, I got the game.
Yeah, you
no matter
don't-
if
yeah,
I play it or I
You
don't
give
play
it
it
back.
or whatever.
Yeah.
This is one game I traded in, and I'm like, I don't really
Did not
care
care.
about
Yeah.
getting back. I kind of do, because I'm starting to now, like, in hindsight, being like, oh, it would be nice to have there, but then I keep on getting the memories of what it is.
Yeah.
And this game, this honourable mention, is Yoshi's Crafted World.
Yeah.
Which obviously, we said we play it on the channel. We both are a fan of Yoshi, and platform games can be fun, especially multiplayer ones, because you can have a bit of fun with each other.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But
we definitely thought it would be better. Like much better.
I mean, in hindsight, the reviews weren't great.
no.
To be fair,
But I think if we were
we thought we
if
were
we
gonna
were
enjoy
20,
it anyway.
25 years younger, we would
Yeah.
it would be perfect.
It's
but-
weird, because you look at kind of a couple of other platform games on the Switch. You got, like, obviously Mario's Odyssey or Super Mario Odyssey. That is an amazing game. It's like I put in so many hours on that game, and I want to go back to it. I got the guidebook, so I can go back and find more moons and stuff, and been watching speedruns on it.
Yeah.
But
No,
like
that's
Yoshi's Crafted World was just.
That's what I thought it
was
would be.
drivel.
I thought, why would they release a game
was-
any worse than
It was
Mario?
like trying to go back to the old thing. And it's funny, because if you look at the Yoshi platform games, I think it might not have been the first Yoshi platform game, but it was like the first well-known one, was Mario. I think it was Super Mario World 2 on the SNES, which was Yoshi's Island. And everyone considers that one of the best platform games, not only on that console, but made.
Ever,
And then you look at any kind of other. I think there was like a Yoshi's Island 2, which did really well, great reviews and everything. But after that, any kind of Yoshi game they tried to be sticking almost to that formula, changing the art style from the paper. What was it? Kind of like the cartoony, cel-shaded look of the original platformers. The weird look it had, it worked to making it kind of, you had Yoshi's Woolly World and then Crafted World. They've turned it into that, and it's like, I mean, they did a similar thing with Kirby, with like Kirby's Epic Yarn, but apparently that's good. Apparently the Kirby games are supposed to be good, but
Kirby's
the Yoshi
Allies.
games,
I'll chuck a little
just
mention in there. Kirby's Allies is very good as well, but
but the Yoshi ones are just like they're failing. What's going on?
I don't know. It's the
But yeah, so
maybe we think too much of Yoshi. Maybe
maybe
Maybe he doesn't
we
deserve-
expected way more of Yoshi than he actually gave.
we've
us.
always had a
I
soft
mean, you're
spot.
right, Ree.
Yeah, we've always had
Kirby is probably better.
Yeah.
You've always been a Kirby fan. You're like, I like Yoshi, but Kirby's better, and I'm like, but Yoshi.
Bravo always had a soft spot for Yoshi, so
I just realised, and it's a bit off topic, but fuck it, it's podcast, and that's probably the first swear word I've said.
and yeah,
Fuck it.
I think I've sworn. That's fine.
But just to mention in Yoshi, on our last monthly challenge video, you did a Yoshi noise, and it was literally I had to go back and be like, did I put that Yoshi noise in to bleep something else? And no,
Did I nail it?
It was
I
you
nailed
doing.
it.
You nailed this perfect Yoshi noise. It's brilliant. It kind of threw me for a loop, being like, what's going on there? But so those have been our honourables and a dishonourable mentions. We're going to go into our top 3 games of the year each. We're going to start with number 3, go to number 2, and then a number 1 for each. I'll go for my number 3 first, then you'll go for your number 3.
What,
Sound
number
good?
3 is in least of your list?
Yeah, so is your list the wrong way round?
I was going 1 to 3. It makes more sense if we go 3 to 1.
It goes 3 to 1. So do you need to rejuggle your list, or can you do it in your head, knowing what's going on? You just got to wing it.
Are you going from...
So
You go in bottom top.
bottom top. That's
So
my
I'll go-
third, second, first.
I'll
Yours
go...
is
Okay, yeah.
yours is top bottom.
I'll go... Mine's top bottom.
Okay then.
I think so.
So I'm just going to point to and say that's your number 3 then. That's your number 2. That's your number 1.
No, my number 1 was... No, I was going
That's
top
your
bottom.
number 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So same as me. So we'll start with our bottom thirds. I'll start with mine first.
Yeah.
And it is on the top 3, as we said, of the games this year that we've played.
So
each
this is your
personally.
least favourite game this year?
This is it's not my least favourite game I've played this year. It's the bottom of my top 3.
Okay.
So it's not my least favourite by far.
Yeah,
I mean, Yoshi's Crafted World. Did you not listen to what I said for about 10 minutes? This is the bottom of my top 3.
Okay.
And then after I
Which is
said this
fine.
one, you'll go on to your bottom.
So it's your number 3. Yeah,
Exactly. It's third place. It's bronze.
Yeah.
Bronze is by no means bad.
Yeah. That's fine.
But it is also on my list of 3. It is the only one on my list that didn't come out this year, unlike yours, which none of them. I mean, technically, one kind of did.
One kind of did.
One kind of did,
you know.
but we'll get to that. Mine was Final Fantasy VIII. Because obviously they brought out, I think it was announced at E3, because Square Enix, they did their hour or so long thingy. And they did all the Final Fantasy VII remake stuff. And then like later on, they were like, oh yeah, that Final Fantasy VIII HD remaster everyone's been asking about, because we did Final Fantasy 7 and 9. Oh, that's coming out this year. So it came out, and I got it. And
Of course.
funnily enough, this is, I'll have to say this because I don't know if anyone from work might ask or think the wrong things. I was actually ill the same time it came out. So I literally spent all day lying down because it was kind of, let's just say bowel issues.
That was recently.
I had issues in my bowelic region. So I couldn't sit, I couldn't really stand, I was in pain, so I just laid down and played this for like the week I was off work. And I absolutely enjoyed it. You know I'm a Final Fantasy fan.
Yep.
Very much so. This one was, I remember playing this, I remember when it came out and playing this with a friend. And we were still both new to RPG kind of thing, so we didn't grind, we ran away from a lot of battles, stuff like that. We got actually towards the end of I think it was the 3rd disc, because if I remember correctly, I think it had 4 discs. Or I might be wrong, and it might have had 3 discs. We got towards the end of the penultimate disc, and there was this boss, and we just couldn't do it. So when I was like replaying through it for the first time in ever, and I've had it on PS3 or PS1 copy of it for a long time, but I just hadn't touched it. And then obviously this version came out.
Thinking you couldn't beat it, or
I hadn't touched it because I've been trying to play through the Final Fantasy games, and once the digital version of 7 came out with the HD and 9, I was like just waiting for 8. So I was like, why play the disc version when I can wait for the downloadable PS4 version? Finally came out this year. Amazing. A lot of people have been waiting for it. Never thought it happened. It did. So obviously I sat through it. it's the first time since when I was younger actually giving time to the game. I do have the guidebook. I did use the guidebook a bit because I just wanted to play the game for the story. Because a lot of people say it's a very underrated Final Fantasy game. So I put the time in and I enjoyed it. But the one thing that really mattered to me when I was playing it was when I finally got to that boss that me and my friend couldn't get past when we was younger.
Yeah.
Like the boss at the penultimate disc, the second to last disc, right at the end of that. And I knew RPGs now. I knew how to, don't run away from battles.
Yeah.
Level up, grind if you need to. So
Fight
getting to
everyone.
that point, and I just literally shat all over her fucking face. Just fucking dicked all over her, man. And oh my god, getting past that and then be like, oh, put in the last disc and be like, oh my god, it was just it was such
the sense of accomplishment.
It
with
really
RPGs.
was.
Yeah. Especially Final Fantasy as well.
I know it's
Yeah.
it's of the Final Fantasy games that I've played and completed, I've probably only done about 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
Which I think is 6, 7, 8, 15.
Yeah.
So that's and 10. So that's about 5.
No, I do. I think naturally, like, you do shy away from those kind of games.
they
are hard for a reason. They are like.
There's a lot of time you need to put into them.
Yeah.
But
Number 8.
it makes my list because there was A, nostalgia, but B, it was like it actually is a really enjoyable Final Fantasy. And when people say it's an underrated Final Fantasy, it got overshadowed by 7 coming out before it and 9 coming out after it, and then 10. And everyone's like, oh, it's just an emo love story. And I'm like,
well,
it was the 90s, man. It was fucking Titanic and Leonardo DiCaprio. If you can't say that Squall, the main character of 8, wasn't based on Leonardo DiCaprio, then you're a fucking idiot. So, yeah, I can see why some people are like, on it. But at the same time, like, well, yeah, so the people who are saying it's underrated, they're right. Because if you look past that shit, it's actually a really good story. It's a really enjoyable game. The kind of leveling mechanics and stuff like that is a bit odd. It's a bit broken. You can get very powerful very easily in that game in a weird way. But no, I really enjoyed my time with it. So that's why it's on my number 3. So what's your number 3?
My number 3, I guess, is Last of Us.
The Last of Us. I mean, The Last of Us 2 is out next year. What are you saying? You've already? Oh. Wait, no, the original Last of Us.
The original Last of Us.
The original Last of Us.
Well, the HD. Oh, yeah, my 2019 list, as we've explained,
Games you
is
played.
not 2019. It's just a game I played.
I mean, anyone who watched our Last of Us one-shot will probably... It was mentioned it was the first time you played it this year.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's going in there, because why the fuck wouldn't it?
That's a great game.
It is a great game.
It's a great game, man.
You know, there's a reason why I didn't play many games this year.
It's like you always say you're not a horror fan.
No.
But you kind of like zombies and zombie-like
I like
games.
zombies. I can deal with that. I can deal with, like...
I mean, it's not a horror game. I mean, what can we say about it that we didn't say in our Let's Play?
True.
What do you want to say about it or not our Let's Play, but
story. That's it. That's where a good game comes to these days.
I agree. There's some people out there who are like the gameplay comes first. I'm with you. For me, it's story first with games. That's why some of my favorite games, if I was to list my favorite games of all time, it would basically be like, I mean, yeah, there's some good gameplay in there.
Yeah. Well,
but story is the main thing that I love about video games. To me, I'm a big film fan. I'm a big book fan.
Here we go.
Games to me are just another medium of getting a good story, but you're interacting.
I'm gonna get real. All right.
Get real.
Is gameplay? Yes, that does matter to me hugely. But if the story's not there, then I'm not gonna play the game anyway. So
that's a fair point. Again, there's probably a lot of people who would disagree with you because look at how much Call of Duty sells. But then again, you could say Call of Duty Modern Warfare had good story.
Yeah, but Call of Duty sells because,
sheeple.
13-year-old teenage boys being like, yeah, fuck your mom.
Not to go off topic, but to go off topic. I used to work in game. For the UK listeners, viewers will know what game is. I worked in both Game Station and Game. American people, they're basically... the British version of GameStop. So I remember working in game once, and there was like a group of what looked like 12-year-old kids, and they went up there. I was just like prowling the aisles as you do, putting away either empty game cases from people who've brought them up to the counter, while also being like, "Oh, does anyone need help? Oh, do you want to buy some batteries with your Xbox controller because it doesn't work without batteries because it's shit." Wait, that's a whole nother different conversation. But so I was prowling the aisles, and I saw these group of kids in like the pre-owned, I think, the Xbox thing, and they picked up like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and they're like, "Oh, this is the best game ever made, mate!" Like one of them was saying to his friends, "It's like it's the best game ever made. It's amazing!" And I just literally wanted to take the case out of his hand and just smack him around the head, be like, "Have you never played Metal Gear Solid?"
Oh yeah,
Never
they
played
would.
the
They would. Thing is, they wouldn't
know.
touch it. They would give it like 20 minutes. We're like, "Nah, I hate it."
We were supposed to be talking about The Last of Us, weren't we?
Yeah,
But,
which is fine.
You know, we're talking about story, how
Anyway.
much story means.
Anyway, yeah, Last of Us, all story, all perfect story, gameplay. It matches up just fine as well. I'm not shitting on
does.
Last of Us
It's got
gameplay.
it's a bit of a derivative of the Uncharted games,
Yeah.
but it does
Yeah,
its own thing. It's more about stealth rather than open gunfighting.
Yeah. Not that
There's-
I played it that way.
Yeah, there's
but,
the
you know.
crafting stuff. God, I'm
Well,
missing out on all these.
minimal, and we'll do this for another podcast maybe, but minimal crafting where you don't really have to think about it either.
It was
So-
live crafting as well, because while he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
crafting, you could still get attacked.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
It's a small thing like that. So the game does have good gameplay in there.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with you. The story in that game is phenomenal. It is. If that wasn't a game and it came out as a film,
Yeah.
that film would fucking win all the awards. It would
Oh,
be
yeah.
BAFTAs, Golden Globes,
No,
Oscars.
exactly. And
That's how good the story
That's-
in that game
and,
is.
you know,
It's that level.
I played it this year for the first time properly, straight through. But I've played it before, and
Bits and pieces.
I've seen, I've watched people play it and stuff like that. But it's on my list because I actually finally played it through. I was like, yes, this
It goes to
deserves
show
be
that
here.
that game's been out since last gen. You played it
Yeah.
on the PS4 this current gen.
Yeah.
And the fact that that game's still... I mean, to be fair, any of the games you mention on your list, it goes to power of showing how well
it's
they
just,
stand out.
yeah, I mean, maybe it says more about me as well, but, I like a story. That's all I care about, so...
Now, speaking about a kind of game that's a little bit horror-y and a little bit zombie-like, shall I go into my number 2?
You probably should.
My
And
game of this year.
This
This is
we had a
almost an honourable
discussion.
mention
This
for you,
was
isn't
yeah.
it?
This goes on my list as well. But
You didn't play, but you
No.
watched, and a few of our fans
Yeah.
out there probably watched as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
It's Resident Evil 2, the remake, for me. First off, I'll go by saying that, like you, I'm not a horror game person.
No,
I really ain't. And I
Fuck 'em.
love... I can't... It's weird, because I like Resident Evil, but I've not really played that many Resident Evils, and Resident Evil 2 Remake is the first one I finished of all the Resident Evil games. But I love the lore of the games, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the backstory and the stuff going on. Maybe apart from like 5 and 6, but
Mm.
I there's something about that series that I'm attracted to in terms of a game, even though they're horror games, so I don't really play them. But Resident Evil 2, obviously we played it through the Leon story, the Leon A story.
We did.
We played that through.
well, you did. Yeah,
Well, I did. And, well, what a game, though.
it is
What a game.
for a remake as well. I think
Yeah,
it's spot on.
we've
I
touched...
think.
Again, it's one of those... It's much like Last of Us. We touched on this... We've talked about this game before. We did a one-shot on Last of Us. We played the whole of Resident Evil. We started off playing Resident Evil because we did a one-shot, which
Yeah, yeah.
everyone loved and was being like, play the game. So
That's
so we
true.
did.
Yeah.
So in terms of like what to say about it, that we haven't already said, but we never really said much about it after we finished it. I missed it. We've
I
only
missed
done a few Let's Plays, but that's the one that I really miss. And I kind of wish that we could, in theory, we could have carried on because there was like the Claire B story to get through,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you don't want to just
keep
there's
doing
so much
it.
other
Yeah,
stuff you
yeah,
want to
yeah,
do. You don't
yeah.
want to be doing stuck on the same thing.
Yeah,
We definitely don't.
It's for another time. We're not bitter, we're not upset about it. We're gonna play it again.
Yeah,
no
I
matter what,
definitely
but,
will. I'll probably get through the Claire B before Resident Evil 3 remake comes out. Not to say that we're gonna play Resident Evil 3 on the channel, but who never knows.
yeah,
There's
who
no
knows?
plans.
Yeah.
It comes out at about the same time as other games that we're.
Maybe I'll play it, and then you'll realize how shit I am at games. But
But I enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, it had some horror. The worst bits of the horror were Mr. X and you grabbing my
suspense.
leg and screaming at
Oh
me.
yeah,
That
was
those
one
those
time.
were the worst the horror
that was
bits.
one time. Get over
But
it.
I've heard it's one of those horror games that even other horror fans as well enjoyed out of it because they've enjoyed the story. I mean, we talked a lot through it, but it was a fun game. It really was. It was a remake done really well, and
Yeah, for sure.
the original Resident Evil 1, that remake from the GameCube, which got the HD release for the current gen of like Xbox and PlayStation, that was basically the exact same game as Resident Evil 1, but Resident Evil 2 remake was different. And at first I was like, but it doesn't seem like the original Resident Evil 2 enough for me. And you know what? Because nostalgia, even though I didn't really play much of the original, it was a good game. It really was. It's a lot of people's game of the year. And I mean, it is a great game.
It's why I said like it definitely deserves to be up there, and
it really
would have
does.
gone on my list, even though I didn't play it. It would have gone on my list as well.
Yeah, I mean, you enjoyed watching it as well.
Yeah,
it was good.
took
I
me
mean, you
back
played
to,
a tofu, Neville. You
Well,
played a
yeah,
tofu,
yeah,
and didn't
but-
your brother play it or something?
Well, that's
like that? You watched it
I
for-
grew. Well, I think we mentioned this in the monthly one shot as well. It was like I knew Resident Evil from watching my brothers play it.
Yeah.
My brother even. And watching you play it just took me right back. It's all I
Even
really
though
cared
it was
about.
like
cared
kind
about,
of remade in a different way. It was
all
still
I cared
able,
about was watching someone play it. So yeah.
It was still able to grab you in. But yeah, that's my number 2 of the games I played this year. Your number 2.
Perfect. Here we go. It's better than Sam's number 1. So
There's a lot that's going to be said about my number 1. Because I've
sorry,
got a rant.
you're number
I wanna...
3. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's your number 2. It's
Yeah.
better than my number 1. And to be fair, if it was on my list, it probably would have knocked off. I mean, technically, I'm playing this game this year.
Yeah.
At the tail end.
So my number 2
For the 7th time.
is my number 2 is Final Fantasy 7.
Yes, another game we did a monthly one shot on.
Yeah.
And wasn't that the kind of impetus of you actually getting it? We
yeah,
covered
yeah.
that game, you was watching it like the play thing, and you were kind
Yeah.
of being like,
I'm gonna fucking play
I
it.
actually want to play
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So
yeah.
you bought it.
Yeah.
And you played it.
Because again, it was a game that I always watched my brother play. I was like, wow, perfect. What a movie. And then who knew you could actually play it?
I mean,
And Sam's a massive fan of
right.
Final
So I'm
Fantasy
gonna
7,
I'm gonna let you talk about this game, but just to mention of it is my favorite game of all time. And to give a point of view of that, I own the game on PS1 disc. I own it on the PSN network for PS3 and PSP, so I count that as 2 because I can play it on PS1, PS3, PSP. Yep. I've got it on the PS4 as the HD download, the version with the slightly better graphics, better-ish translation.
Yeah.
The cheats, the one that you played.
Yeah.
I got it on the PlayStation Classic as well. And I recently got a physical copy for the Nintendo Switch.
I didn't realize it was physical. I thought it was...
Yeah, it's kind of Japanese import. So that's how many times I own that game. I think I might have actually missed one out. But so that's all I'll say
PS1.
about that. Oh no, I did say the classic
Okay.
for £100.
Okay.
But yeah, so obviously I do love this game, but it's your number 2 on the list. Why is it your number 2 on the list?
Because it was one of 4 or 5 games I played in the last year. That's why. But
but
I
out of
loved it.
those 4 or 5 games,
Well-
why is it number 2?
I'll say it again. Story. That's why. Just the most genuine, like, beautiful story.
I think I'll agree with you there. And this is something I played it when I was a lot younger. So let me think. How old would have you been in 99, 2000?
I don't want them to know, Sam.
Is it it's definitely single digits though, right?
Yeah.
So I first played it when you were in single digits. Well, like you
Yeah.
said, you watched your brother play it, so I would have played it the first time then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something when I got older, coming back to playing it again, and like I says, I got it physical on Switch, so I am playing it now again just to get through the story. I'm saying again a lot, about 7 times at least. In terms of story, it's very ecological thing going on. It's very green.
It's green and like.
And it's something I
Fuck the
didn't
man.
pick up. It is.
Yeah.
It's not something I picked up when I was younger. It was like,
Oh,
wow,
no,
it almost felt ahead of its time in terms of what it was saying message-wise to me.
Well, I think that's what I liked about it. Playing it now this year, it still spoke to me.
Yeah,
it still
no.
spoke to me. Like,
A lot of people say in terms of graphics and gameplay, it doesn't hold up, but I'm like, it was your first time playing this year. What did you think?
in terms of graphics and
Lego
it doesn't hold up. No, it doesn't. But in terms of thinking, I mean, it's what 25 years old.
It won't be 25. It's close. It's about 20.
Tw-
Depending on when it came out. I think it came out in Japan in like 97,
Yeah.
America 98,
So 23
UK
years
99,
old.
So it's 20 at
Yeah,
least.
it's 20.
It's at least 20 years old.
Yeah, which you take that into account when you're playing it. You're not going to expect like a master remake.
And it's a thing with like PlayStation. It's like it was polygon graphics. Not many games from things like the SNES where it was all pixel art. Of course that's going to stand up. It's pixel art. People still make games in pixel art now.
Yeah. But no,
They don't make
this
things
was like
in polygons like they do
this
in the
was
PlayStation.
this was
but-
backdrops, wasn't it? It was like
it was like
it was
Resident
artwork.
Evil originally.
Yeah.
It was like it was pre-rendered backgrounds, so it was like 3D backgrounds that were then like kind of rasterized into a flat image.
Yeah,
put
and
as
you
the
walked
background,
around
and
it.
You're the
Yeah.
only 3D thing, other
Yeah.
characters and like interactive stuff. Again, it happened a lot on the PlayStation era. That kind of thing.
Like,
But
honestly,
it's not the best holding up, and
honestly, yeah. But I say it's not the best holding up, but I appreciated it for the work.
I still really enjoy the gameplay. I actually still like the graphics, but that's probably nostalgia. If I take nostalgia out of it, I still I can see why the graphics is an issue. Again, you're walking around as a deformed Lego man, which is obviously is something going back to one of my choices, 8. They changed. It was kind of like
One thing I didn't like about it, one thing that I didn't understand was like the cutscenes were like really nicely done, and then they went back into like Lego Man, and
I mean, some of the cutscenes they use even Lego Man in that. To be
Yeah.
honest, it was very they're
it chopped and changed. I'm
which they did change again, like Final Fantasy 8. They kept with the normal proportioned humans, apart from their legs being about 2 meters tall, and their torsos being about half a meter. They kept the same through everything in that game, and like 9 kept the same artwork from the characters' cutscenes to the things, and then obviously as it went on from there, better consoles, graphics, stuff like that. 7 was it was. I won't lie, some of the cutscenes are kind of like I can see why people are saying it doesn't necessarily hold up, but like you're saying, man, the story, the fact it's still got actually a really good message in there.
If you just think where it came from, and it was the first of its time as well for like.
It was the RPG
PlayStation.
that really
Yeah.
of. It was, I think, the first UK released, or European released Final Fantasy. It was like the 4th American one, but they decided to call it Final Fantasy 7 instead of 4 over there.
Yeah.
It was huge, man. It was absolutely huge.
Massive, and there's a reason why. So,
But
And I loved
need
it.
to-
I
And
fucking
I'm
loved
glad
it.
that you do. That's why we
Yeah.
know we're friends, because that's a game that you loved, and you know how much I love that. So
And I bought the T-shirt too.
you did. You've got. You don't have as many Final Fantasy VII T-shirts as me.
No,
but
no. I
you
bought
do
one.
and it's not even technically a Final Fantasy.
No,
VII
it's not
t-shirt,
really, but
it's-
I still bought it.
I mean, it's a great artwork. To be fair, it's a great piece. I'm gonna go to my number one now, and this is gonna be probably more of a rant at people rather than why I love this game. My number one
I agree
of
too,
this
actually.
year is Death Stranding. So I'll get out the way. I understand why some people don't like this game or don't get on with it. It's a very weird game to classify. I think I had an advantage because I've played games like Journey and Gone Home. I haven't played Firewatch, but I know you like Firewatch, and
I
that's
did
probably
like
a game.
Firewatch, beautiful
These
game.
small indie walking sims, you're not doing much. You're going from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Just doing stuff, minimal stuff. You
Yeah.
get your story. Death Stranding is like those indie games, but with a triple A budget where Sony has just thrown all the money at Kojima.
Yeah.
And be like, just make whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
And he did.
he did.
And I tell you,
You know what? I'll be the layman. I'll be the little
the
little Halo nerd, the little Call of Duty
No,
nerd.
I think I know what phrase you're supposed to be going for here, but it's not layman.
What's the phrase?
Devil's advocate. You'll be devil's advocate.
Oh
That's
no,
what you
I don't like that.
You
term.
don't want to be
I don't
devil's
like that
advocate.
term.
Okay, well, let me just get this out. So, I'll say why I like this game, and then I'll go into some of my issues I have. Not necessarily with the game. There's a couple I have, but it's with how it's been perceived. So, I like this game because, as we were saying, we love story in a game.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoyed this. I love my sci-fi stuff, post-apocalyptic, that kind of thing. The story in this, yeah, it's convoluted, but it's a fucking Kojima game. What do you expect it's going to be? And to be fair, I've probably actually read more convoluted articles about this game than the actual story in this game. So, well, fucking suck on those eggs, these people who are complaining about it. It's, compared to maybe some of his later Metal Gear efforts, it's not as probably convoluted as some of those in a weird way. It's a new world. There's a lot of new characters and new phrases, so I can see why people would be like, I don't understand what's going on. I was like, fair enough, maybe pay attention.
They didn't want to know.
I enjoyed the
That's-
story. It's a very chill game as well. It really
Yeah.
is. It's like I didn't do the extra delivery missions and stuff like that you can do in the game. And that wasn't because of the game itself. That's because I just generally don't do in those open worlds. So like GTA 5 and GTA 4 and the GTA games I played, I did just
you're an A
the
to B
story
man.
stuff. Yeah, I do the story stuff.
yeah.
And what I did in Death Stranding was the story stuff. I focused mainly on that rather than the extras. I did a couple. Again, I don't want to talk about what the game is because if you know
You'll
if you know
spoil
the
it
game,
for
you'll
me.
know you know what
Yeah.
it is anyway. It's a game where you're delivering packages from point A to point B. So the extra stuff I did do was like, oh well, they're on my way to this place. I'm going past it. I'll do that. But it was one of those games that I would be like, oh, I want to play some Death Stranding. I can't play it tonight. I got work tomorrow.
Because
Because
he
when
got,
I
like,
played
enveloped
it was
into
literally
it,
I
yeah,
would
yeah.
play it for like 6 to 10 hours straight. It was one of those games that once I started playing, I couldn't stop. And that now I'm in an older age. I mean, I'm not married. I don't have kids. There's not much that's taking my free time other than I'm old and work. So I like to have my free time to do other stuff. It's one of those that it's been a long time since I played a game where once I start playing it, it was so difficult to stop.
Yeah.
And once I finished the story, I haven't gone back to it yet. I really do want to go back to it, but I've got so much other stuff to play. I'm like, I've not stopped thinking about it. It's stuck in my head.
Yeah. That's like a good movie as well.
It is. A good movie does
Yeah.
that. And, I mean, yeah, the Kojima's probably done this because everyone knows he loves movies and he wants to make movies. And this is almost like his movie. And so that's why it's my number one. It's like it's been so long since I've had a game like this stuck in my like subconscious even. I've had random dreams about it. It's insane this game's affected me in a kind of weird way. But if you permit me to rant about the people who have issues.
That's what I was going to ask. Why do people not like it, Sam?
Again, I can understand. Maybe they're not into story. Maybe people prefer action games more.
Why did Metal Gear fans not like it?
I don't know on that. Maybe because it wasn't so much action, which is weird because, and this is my thing, a lot of the people, I've seen some people have issues with this game.
Yeah.
And I've played, obviously, the game through the whole of the story and stuff, and I'm like, the issues you had have been like, oh, it's doing the same thing all the time, or it's like there's no combat, and I was like, did you actually play the fucking game? There's plenty of that in there. I mean, it's towards the end of the game. You have to get through the deliveries. I've seen people being like, oh, it's very hard to walk down a hill and not fall over, and I'm like, I very rarely fell over in that game. I'm like, oh, you're supposed to just tap on the shoulder buttons to correct his fingers. And I was like, well, just hold the shoulder buttons, because then he's centered and he doesn't fall over. Yeah, it might be a pain to hold the shoulder buttons, but you're not falling over. Or the BTs keep on catching me and I keep on dying. It was like, well, just crawl.
Avoid them.
Very quiet. Yeah. I honestly think a lot of what people's issues with this game is they played it for like the first 10 hours and be like, this is shit. The first 10 hours are slow and it takes a while.
They didn't adapt to the game and they
I
didn't
don't
learn how
think
to
so.
play the game.
I think they were being like, it's going to be like Metal Gear or something weird. And it's like, if you know what the game is going in and you think you might like it, the chances are you probably like it. Even if you don't think you're going to like it, it might be worth... it's a good podcast game as well.
This was my thing, right?
Stick on a podcast while you're fucking making your deliveries. I mean, I'm taking that from someone from Yahtzee. That's what he said, is like he liked... From what people gather, I mean, it's hard to tell if Yahtzee likes a game, but he seemed to like it because he was like, I could stick on a podcast while playing this game and making my deliveries.
This was my thing, right? It
has a great soundtrack, though.
It's a Kojima game. It's not gonna be like what you expect.
You look at most of his, apart from Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2, those were very similar gameplay terms of games. 3 was different. 4 was more different. Every game he does is different.
But for that time as well, even Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2.
Oh, there was
like
always
nothing.
Weird shit, man.
There was
always weird shit.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So I knew when this game came out, when Death Stranding came out, it wasn't going to be what you expected it to be.
Oh, it was better than what I expected. And I knew going in, I had a bit of fear being like, oh, some people are ripping on this game. Am I actually going to like it? And again, that's why I say I probably had the advantage because I liked things like Gone Home and Journey. And it's like,
the indies,
I will mention it's a good soundtrack, and this is something you might appreciate. It's probably the first thing ever that has got me into a Bring Me Horizon song. I'm not a fan of that band, but Death Stranding has somehow got me into... Funnily enough, the only other Bring Me the Horizon song I liked was also called Shadow Moses, which was the name of the
Metal Gear song.
Because I messaged you once,
being like,
I can't believe I realised why Bring Me the Horizon are on this soundtrack. And you never replied, but I was like...
No, I didn't reply.
The reason was because they had a song called Shadow Moses. They're obviously big Kojima and Metal Gear fans.
Oh, right, yeah.
So Kojima got them in.
Yeah,
they got given 7 days to do that song they did in it. Luddens.
Really?
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of them, and it doesn't mean I'm going to be listening to them
I'm not
much.
a huge fan either. Just
You used to be.
Let's not... Yeah, I used to be, maybe 10, 15 years ago. Don't let Sam fool you.
One little rant I do want to go into, last little rant of people who've been talking about it. I've heard a lot of people being like, the dialogue? No,
dialogue.
Right. Dialogue in this game is shit. It's terribly written. It's terrible. And I'm like... It's this English dialogue story written by a fucking non-English Japanese fucking speaker. You stupid ass, dumb motherfucking... What do you expect? Whatever kind of non-English thing ever gets translated that well. You look at a lot of Japanese films, even a lot of modern day Japanese films that everyone loves. Everyone's like, oh, the dub is shit, any translation to English from Japanese is never that good. So everyone who's complaining about the fucking dialogue in this game, it's like, fucking, oh my god, that's been annoying. I've been needing to get that for a while.
It's always
like,
white people that speak English that don't speak any other language.
Oh, this English language fucking dialogue in this game, shit. Oh, well, I'm sorry that only the guy who made this game only speaks Japanese and, you know, tried his best. But why couldn't they translate it best? Because Japanese is a very fucking nuanced language.
What language do you speak?
Fucking shit like that. Listen to our fucking English, stupid, shitty, fucking, non-fucking, shitty fucking language. Japanese is very nuanced. It's very hard to translate. They have a lot of words for different meanings and shit like that. Of course, the English dialogue is not going to be great in it, or even that bestly translated, because it's going to be fucking difficult to. So fucking get over it, you stupid, naive fucks. I've been wanting to get that out for ages, because it's just like, it's just been doing my head in for so long that that's one issue people have with the games, because it's got shitty dialogue. I won't lie, there's some lines of dialogue that are fucking cringe in that. But then again, I love Inception. Or you should have thought of something a little bigger, darling. That's a bit fucking cringy as well, isn't it? You look at like Terminator 2 by James Cameron, good film, but the fucking James Cameron's a shit writer of dialogue.
Yeah, true.
One of the best lines in films ever, Alien 2, go away from her, you bitch. Come on, that's a bit great line. Bit cringy though, really, if you think about it. So go and fuck off with your, this Japanese guy couldn't write fucking good English dialogue. Go fuck yourselves.
White people.
Right, so yeah, I just had to get that out because
people.
It's like just one of the stupidest complaints I've heard about this game. There's some complaints I can understand. Norman Reedus is shit in it, I'll say that. Norman Reedus Mads Mikkelsen is fucking great. Troy Baker, as always. How many games on our list has Troy Baker appeared in? At least two. At least two. Death Stranding and The Last of... And your final one.
He is in...
Out of our 6 games on our joint list,
is
Troy
he in
Baker's
the remake
in 3
for
of them.
Final Fantasy?
No.
He could be. He could be.
Might do. I don't think he was in 15, but he was in the 13 trilogy. Who knows? So, I realise I'm more ranted rather than saying why Death Stranding is my favourite game that I played last year. And I suppose my favourite game of the year, because it did come out last year. But I absolutely love the game. I really do. It really stuck with me and it really spoke to me. But yeah, from my top game of 2019, that happens to feature Troy Baker, to your top game that you played of 2019, that happens to feature Troy Baker.
So the one game that came out in 20. Well, the one game
it kind of
played
came out in 20. You played it, and it did technically come out this year.
The remake, Catherine is what we're talking about.
Catherine, full body is the version.
If you're listening to this, then you've probably seen those videos as well.
Yeah, that you played through. I found it funny because at the start of that Let's Play, you were like, I don't think I'm going to like this game.
Oh, I did not think I would like that game. And I didn't think I would like it as much either. And also, I didn't have a fucking clue what that game was about. No idea.
Dude, I've played through it a fair few times. I don't know if I still
No idea. Even like, up to the build-up where Sam was like, right, we're going to play this game. I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool, wherever.
I didn't want to tell you much.
Even then, Sam was like, you have no idea what you're getting into.
I didn't know. I didn't really want to give it away. I was like, you're either going to hate the game, which to me would have been a funny Let's Play anyway. You've been like, why am I playing this game? To either maybe, potentially, you actually enjoying it at some point. And
I loved it, I think.
You really did. You actually really enjoyed it a lot.
I think maybe it says more about 2019 games, but,
I mean, it's one of my favourite games anyway. Like you've seen that I have almost every collector's edition version of the game. I've got like 3 different collector's editions for it. No, what did you like about it? Funnily enough, we've put on some footage randomly while we're just talking, just to have some background. Catherine is actually what's playing, because it was like 2 hours long.
What I really loved about it, what like I thought I wouldn't like about it, was the puzzles. Was the like, getting it right, and
It took you a while to get
it took
there.
me a while. It took me a long while, but then it's the same with like the Rubik's cube. Like me and Sam both learned the Rubik's cube in the past year.
Yeah, it only took us like a day each.
It took us a day,
Not
but
even a day, really, if you think about it. A
no,
couple of hours
well,
each.
Yeah,
I
maybe
suppose.
3 hours tops. That's about it. But
I think I did mention in the Let's
it's
Play.
once you once you nail it,
yeah.
you feel so good about it. That's what I loved about it.
It's surprisingly, it's a deep game as well. You only played through on the playthrough. I did lend it to you as well because you do want to play it through on your own time, get more of the story. Cause we talked over a lot of it.
Well, I want a better ending, that's for sure.
Yeah, you do want to. You weren't happy with the ending, but
But I don't disagree with the ending either. I don't disagree with it.
No, I could. Part of me thought it was going to go that way anyway.
Yeah.
I kind of myself. I didn't want to say where I thought it was going, but kind of where it went was kind of what I thought.
Yeah. I think not
Which-
that not that I'm gonna try change the ending. I think maybe
If you're playing it on your own, maybe you'll
Yeah.
be even more honest.
Yeah,
And if
yeah,
you
yeah.
give it time talking to people, and you've got the options of what you say to them, you
I'll
can
talk
get
to more
out of
people.
it.
But I was rushing it for the channel. It's for you guys, but I loved it.
It's a unique game.
Unique game. Yeah, one
There's
of
not
its
much like it.
its kind. Yeah, and really, again, really good story. I think it is mainly story based.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's very heavy story based. It
Yeah,
really
yeah.
is. It's funny because as much as I love the game, I'd never realised how much of a dick Vincent is.
Yeah.
I mean, I always thought he was a bit of a young, naive kind of guy who was maybe dragging his feet, but I didn't realise how much.
I think about this
But
a lot.
this is a slightly different version from the original.
but
so
I
it's
think-
kind of
I think about this a lot though, because when I played around here when we were doing the channel stuff, I go home, I'm like, what did Sam what did he not get? Like, and I think when did it come out? When did the original come out?
to be honest, I can't remember when it originally came out, but it came out like a day or so after my birthday, after I think I had a bad breakup.
Yeah, right.
So,
So in the last decade, right?
yeah,
The
it was
the
definitely
original.
within the last decade for sure.
So I think-
it was PS3 era.
Yeah. But-
mid to tail end of PS3.
But I think what I liked about it as well, if you think about like how much people in society and like social lives and the way people think now is so much different from 5 years ago, where like Vincent is now a dick. I think maybe back then he wasn't.
I was probably still I would have been in my 20s still then.
Yeah. Right.
Not giving away
So-
my age, but I would have still been in my late 20s then.
But as a in a society, in like a
Let's say I could probably have related to him a lot more better then than I would now.
no, yeah.
It's a
But
lot
no,
different.
not just you though. I think everyone. I think even me, like growing up, every
Young, dumb, and full of cum.
yeah.
You could relate
That's
to someone
basically
like
it.
Vincent.
That's basically it. Where now you have to be like sensitive to people's feelings, and you have to like look after
I'm pretty
everyone.
sure Erica says it at one point in the game as
Yeah,
well. Young, dumb, full of cum.
That's basically it, and
It's a game.
The fact that they nailed it back then, they've not. I don't think they've changed that.
One thing I wanted to broach on, which I think we kind of covered a little bit in Let's Play, but we didn't at the same time because the story was new to you and I didn't want to talk about it too much, was when Full Body came out, the version you played, it's a re-release but with extra story and an extra character of Rin.
Yeah.
And there was the whole idea when before that version came out, people looking at trailers and be like, "Oh, Rin's trans."
Yeah.
Vincent's actions to her, and we did see and think his actions were weird, and people were being like, "Oh, this game's a slight about trans," but I was always like, Erica is a trans character who was in the original,
Right. Yeah.
and the guys were always still friends with her. So I
Yeah.
never understood why everyone who was giving the backlash to the game for Full Body, the re-release, being like, "Oh, it's anti-trans." I was like, did you actually play the original? Do you remember the character Erica at all? The game was, to me, back then, quite accepting of her as a trans character.
Well, that's yeah.
Within reason, they dead named her in the credits.
Yeah.
Which they changed in this version.
Yeah.
But it was still a bit more progressive than especially video games, and even
Yeah.
maybe Japanese video games
Yeah.
would be. So I just wanted to mention that because it's not something we covered, and it really annoyed me when I saw like the first trailers of this coming out and people being like, "Oh, Vincent's reactions to this trans character." To be fair, we've already discussed Vincent's a fucking dick.
Yeah, he is.
He's a fucking dick.
But I think
anyway.
But he took it in his stride, and he
did. Once he
accepted
realised
it,
what
and-
he did wrong, he did try
he
to actually
accepted
correct it.
and that's what people need to like. That's what people need
People
to do.
need to realise you're a dick, and Vincent does eventually realise he's a fucking dick. And I mean, the ending never really shows whether he not kind of accepts that, or he either goes with being a dick or corrects himself. Depends on the ending you get.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. It's something that I'm glad they re-released it because I think it is a game that a lot of people do need to, more people need to play. And I'm glad that people have the chance to now. So there's probably a lot of people who have got this. Apparently it has sold, the re-release has sold pretty decently.
Yeah.
So whether it's people like me who have re-bought it,
I think
which I'm sure there's probably
yeah.
a lot of that.
Yeah,
but I'm sure there's a few people out there who'd be like, "Oh, I never got to play that."
No.
And they
well,
re-released...
me. And there's people I'm going to show it to and be like,
I mean,
you need to play this.
They released the original version on Steam as well for quite cheap once this came out. They're here's Catherine Classic, they call it now.
Yeah.
Which they did. So it's... Yeah, I mean, fair play on you. I think if I played it, it would have been on my list. I didn't really play it, so I didn't want to put it on my list. But, I mean, it was... I
really enjoyed it. I think it was a good balance of gameplay and story. So, yeah.
So those have been our top 3 games of this year. What we're going to do now is, obviously, especially all this, none of them actually came out last year. We're going to do a bit of an honourable mention of a game of the decade.
The decade.
This isn't necessarily our game of the decade.
No.
It's not necessarily...
Because we're not going to do a decade podcast or, that's...
It would have been nice to do, but in terms of time and planning...
in terms of everyone is doing it.
And everyone's doing it as well.
So you're all going to hear it anyway, so...
Yeah. So yeah, I think your mention is a game that you've got because I've got you a copy of it, but you've not really played.
Yeah, but I played.
But
we'll get into it. I've got two mentions.
I've got one mention. But I might have 2 actually. I think I got 2.
I've got 2. Shall I go first?
Well, I started off with the list, so I think I'll go first with mine.
Go for it.
Mine's going to be GTA 5. This is one I've played. Funnily enough, I've bought about 4 times on PS4. Every time I buy it.
This is one we've all
Before
played.
I got into a decent job with decent money, it would be like, I want another game or I need some money, so I'll sell this. And then I ended up buying the game again. And I've bought it about 4 times, and I reckon I'm probably not the only person. So I think you were close to doing it.
Yeah.
It's GTA 5.
Yeah.
And my mention is this console generation is probably coming close to almost a decade itself as well.
Yeah.
It came out at the tail end of the PS3, Xbox 360 era. Xbox. That's a
if you
conversation
didn't
for
know,
another story.
if you didn't know, we don't like Xbox.
I got a story. I'll save it for another podcast, actually. But so it came out the tail end of that. I never played it at that point because I didn't have a PS3 and stuff at the time it came out. I had bad life stuff going on, which basically all I owned was clothes. I didn't even have a place to properly call my own.
Yeah.
We won't go into that, but it came out on the tail end there. But eventually, when I settled on my feet a little bit, got PS4, and this was GTA 5 was one I got with it, and it's why I put it on there as a game of the decade is because it came out in PS3, Xbox 360 era, come out on the PS4, Xbox One S, X.
One of the Xboxes.
One of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Of the Xboxes.
One of them.
And it, especially on PlayStation, you look at the most bought games, especially download. It's always been
still
on
going.
the top 10 list for
It's still
for almost a decade.
It's still
I don't know.
top
I can't
bucks.
remember when it came out. We probably should have researched this better, but you
Yeah.
guys know us. We don't do this shit. And it's like it has to be mentioned. The amount of people. There's a guy you used to work with. I work with.
Yeah.
Who put in a lot of hours into that game? Played it on 360 or Xbox One.
Yeah.
Ended up getting rid of it because he said he put too many hours on it.
Yeah.
Ended up his friend gave him one again. An Xbox
And put
he
the
got the
same
game
hours
again,
in.
and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
again straight back on the online. So
Yeah,
the online, the amount of people who bought it, the sales.
Yeah.
Funny enough, it's still not like the most sold game. One of the ones that you're going to mention is actually, I think, the most sold
Well,
game
at the
ever.
moment, yeah,
It is.
yeah. But I think
But this is
GTA
up there. GTA 5 is up
over
there.
the past
and it's
10
like,
years.
It's just been ridiculous.
I mean, as like a
I've bought more copies of GTA 5 on the PS4 than I've bought PS4s, and I've bought 3 PS4s.
yeah, and
You know why?
Well-
Funny, here's a little interesting fact. I own 2 PS4s. I do
Well-
actually own 2 PS4s.
more copies. You've bought more copies of this than you've bought more copies of anything, I reckon.
Apart from Final Fantasy 7. I've
Yeah.
bought more copies of Final
but
Fantasy
what?
7.
That's
But
over
that's
like,
my
that's
favorite
over
game.
20.
That's my
23
favorite game.
years.
So naturally, this one's like I had to say maybe 7-8 years old.
Yeah.
I think it's even older than
I
that.
think it's
It's
older.
just-
I think it's 2011.
I still think it's like,
think it-
and the interesting thing. So I was listening to, I mean, I'll say the podcast name because they're fucking bigger than us, so it doesn't matter. Like I was listening to Podcast Beyond on IGN, their PlayStation podcast, and they were mentioning about GTA, and they was like, and I completely forgot they were saying, yeah, it's not so much GTA, but Rockstar. Rockstar usually on a console generation will have 2, 3, 4 games out.
Yeah,
This console generation, they did Red Dead 2. That's it.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's weird that they did that, but at the same time, the amount of people that kept on buying GTA 5
GTA, and they
keep on
were doing
playing
new
GTA
things,
5, why
new,
would they
like-
need to make
Yeah,
another
yeah.
GTA
No,
now?
definitely. That's
And they have a point. It's
timeless. It's a timeless game.
So,
and
so that's to me one of the games of the decade. So
and I fully agree. I think
let's go on to
a
that.
game
I
that
mean,
someone can keep coming back to is
I
a
always
timeless game,
We've wanted to do something with it, at some
which
point
is
in our
a
lives,
perfect
so-
perfect segue into mine.
Possible.
Mine is Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Another game that people will keep. Well, actually, no. That actually is very different. Where Minecraft had this huge boom.
I mean, I agree with you. Minecraft has gone beyond gaming, though. It has literally gone beyond video games.
What do you mean?
If you look at merch
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
all this, like it's become part of the zeitgeist, man. It's like
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah. But my second honourable mention of the
which I
decade
don't know actually, because
is kind of similar as well.
Okay.
But yeah, Minecraft. What they came out towards the
It
start
came
of the
out.
decade.
This is
'Cause-
actually one I did research.
Because that's when I did play it.
This is one I researched.
Really?
The actual proper Minecraft proper release version was 2011.
2011, right? That's the.
I knew people
that's-
playing it
That was
before
the
then.
alpha or the beta.
No,
which,
that was the proper release.
really okay.
Because Tom, who was in one of our videos, he told me about Minecraft in 2010.
Yeah.
He was playing it like before then, but the actual proper release was 2011. So,
Right.
but it's still within the decade.
Yeah, because the first time I played it, it was a free copy. It was a free
Yeah,
like
you could get the free
beta.
beta,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, you could test
I think
it
I
out and
tried.
stuff.
I think I tried it on that, but the PC I had
Yeah.
at the time.
These were the back
laptop
of the
wasn't great.
this was back in the day where I played Gary's Mod and
Gmod.
yeah
Oh, it's on
Gmod.
sale on Steam if anyone wants to get me.
Yeah.
But no, you're right, man. It's like I've dabbled a little bit in it, and
I know everyone loved it, especially
Everyone
kids.
still
Everyone
loves it.
kids. But then it died, right? It died. It like
was this before Xbox bought it, or
oh
because
Christ.
obviously, well, not Xbox, Microsoft bought it, didn't it?
Microsoft bought it, yeah. I don't know about that, but it's had a revival in the past year or two.
It has. It always swings back around to Minecraft. People keep on coming back to it. It's as I said, it's something we wanted to do. We got you a copy of Minecraft for free.
Yes.
From someone my girlfriend knows who used to work for Mojang. I say used to. They've actually left Mojang now.
Oh, did they? Oh, that's fine.
They've left
Fuck
Mojang.
Mojang.
To be honest, I'm not going to mention names and stuff, but he used to love working for them, but he did say that once. Should I say this? Because this is kind of insider information.
I think so, maybe.
Should I say this?
I don't know.
So he used
can
to
always
work
cut
them
it out.
before Microsoft, and once Microsoft bought him over, he says there was a big dip in that company that went down, and he stopped enjoying working for them.
It probably
once
got more
Microsoft bought him
corporate.
over.
Probably got more corporate. That's, you know.
Yeah. Let's hope there's been many people who've left Mojang recently, so they can't pin it down to
someone.
To be fair, if he's left, it's probably not. It's gonna not matter,
well,
is it?
To be fair,
he never says, "I'm telling you" in his confidence.
They
probably
employ a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
To
and
be
a lot of
fair,
people leave, but
well, I won't mention what his job is because that would narrow it down. But
no, Minecraft, for the decade.
It is.
It went and it came back stronger than ever.
It was one of the first big indie games as well, because I always look at something like Journey as an indie game that got me into indie games.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Minecraft was kind of that indie game before
It was.
those indie games.
Yeah, it was.
It was made
game.
by like basically one guy and maybe a couple other people.
It's a Swedish company, right?
Well,
so
that's the person I know. Yeah, he used to live there. He's now moving back to the UK.
Yeah. But you know, perfect. Like the perfect story. They grew with it, and it got huge.
Just don't ask your dad for a copy of Minecraft.
Oh yeah, because
you're
getting Mein Kampf. Yeah, which did happen, didn't it?
Get weird traction on our Facebook. That one is. Right.
And then my second.
Wait, before you go on this, I just want to confirm what your second is, because it might be the same as mine, and if it is, I'm going to mention something else. Sorry. So this is a quick one as well, because it would have been if we were doing a list of like our favorite games of the decade. My other one would be Undertale, which to me is another indie game that literally blew up huge, like massively, and I love that game, and I think it was another one that. Again, it was a game that kind of came out, there's a lot of indie games that came out in the last decade. I would say, if anything, I know we mentioned, like, GTA.
Yeah.
But I think this decade's been the decade of indie
games. Yeah.
Apart from Minecraft, which, to be fair, is owned by Microsoft now, so you can kind of discount that as
they've fallen off the shelf.
I think Undertale's one of the biggest one out there. I absolutely love that game myself. I know a lot of people get put off by the fandom of it.
Yeah.
And I can understand that. It kind of puts me off, but isn't that the same with everything? Like, you look at like Star Wars
anything
or Doctor Who fandom, and it's always too much.
Anything that gets that big.
You like something, cool. You don't have to base your life around it. If you take some life experience or lessons from it, that's cool too.
I like it more.
Just deal with it, man.
Yeah, I like it more. Fuck you.
it's cool that you like this thing. So
yeah. No, the worst.
Don't let something define you. Let you define you. Don't let something you like define you.
Well, people think it's theirs. That's the problem. But that's another...
I gave that a little shout out though, because I did realise that what I was gonna have as my second one is your second one. I mean, yours was a genre specific, whereas mine was a game specific. Which is
mine's genre specific, but they're all the same, really. But Battle Royale.
It's a great film, though, man. Have you seen it?
Oh, it's a good film.
I've read the book as well. I lent it to someone. Wait, you on about the Battle Royale Japanese novel / film?
No, I'm talking about
the video games.
Well, it's still all the same.
Well, yeah, technically it was.
I'm talking about the games. I'm talking about fucking Fortnite, Apex Legends. And PUBG and
what would be of that ones though? What would it would have to be Fortnite,
HZ whatever
it would have to be Fortnite out of those.
Well, Fortnite's the biggest one, but like that as a even Call of Duty did a battle royale.
We're saying about like with Minecraft, it's another one that's entered the zeitgeist. It's like, hey, buy me Fortnite.
We didn't touch Fortnite, did we?
I mean, I wanted to do a video of it, but in a different way.
I wouldn't have done it.
You really didn't want to do it.
But Battle Royale as a genre got huge in the past 3 years.
I mean, I'm pretty sure PUBG wasn't the first to do it, but PUBG was the one.
Oh no,
to
it
make
wasn't.
It
was It was
PUBG was like Warzy, Daisy, something like that. Was it?
H1Z1, I think.
Was that one? But PUBG was. We can all agree that PUBG was the one that made it popular, and then Fortnite was the one that took it to
over.
a whole
Yeah.
new level. You look at. I mean, I don't want to shit on other YouTubers and content creators, but there's some people out there who make their living off just this one game.
Yeah.
And it could be the same about Minecraft as well, and that's it.
For sure.
What happens when that dries up, man?
Yeah,
it's like, as huge as these things are, as huge as Minecraft has been for 10 years, as huge as Battle Royale and Fortnite is now,
they've just
raped
it. They've just
eventually it's gonna drop. It always gaming, much like films and books, like you look back at like books, it was all about the teen books of like Twilight and
you'll have a cult,
things like that. It was like, these were the biggest things, and then eventually it goes on to new things. Games, in terms of other media, a genre will stick around a lot longer with games. You look back in the days like Mario Brothers, it was all about platformers. You had Mario Brothers, Sonic, it was all that fucking platformers. Platformers now, they matter not so much.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Back in maybe the Final Fantasy VII days, it was all about the fucking RPGs. Now it's like not that much.
That's how many games are made in a year? That's the thing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Good, bad, small, big. There's a lot, and there's a lot. Again, like from PUBG, that was again kind of done by one main person as a mod from Armour, if I remember correctly.
Was Armour.
And it went fucking huge. Then Fortnite
just took someone
shat on
to
his
make
fucking
it,
breakfast cereal,
and it probably
it was like,
it probably was better as well. But
I think because Fortnite went more the kiddie. Well, I
Kiddie
wouldn't say
route.
kiddie art style, but the kind of like less
Memes,
violence, no blood. It was kind
yeah.
of like cartoonish animations.
Parents let them play it, and
it was easy enough to like catch on to the younger crowd, and if you can get the younger crowd these days, you've got something. I mean, Minecraft did that as well. A lot of the younger kids like that.
Yeah.
Which, if you look at it, like GTA 5, like as big as it was, it's like it's definitely not a game for younger people, but
it probably got them too.
Because
I was definitely a kid when I was playing GTA, but I'm talking about like GTA 3 and GTA, even GTA fucking even them like.
I remember playing the original GTA. Though, to be fair.
I think, that's what gaming company, game
it's
production
big business
companies
now.
care
It's
about.
like if you look at like how long the written word and novels and books have been around, they've been around for like centuries, basically. You look at film's been around for almost, actually probably over a century. Video games have been around for about 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
It's still a young medium.
Yeah.
In our digital new age.
Yeah. ADD,
that's how we're going, isn't it?
ADD, short attention span age. That's if you catch a kid on a game early, he or she is gonna be playing it for like 20, 30
man, it's
years,
like when you're a kid. It's like you have like I remember having my action figures, and you always go to that action figure and you play with that action figure for hours on end.
Yeah.
I mean, games were around while I was a kid, and I played some, but I didn't have that kind of upbringing where the consoles that were around were like the adults around me. It was their consoles, so as a
you
kid,
couldn't play
I
everything.
didn't play it as much. So I had but I always had the favorite toys I always played with, and these days it's like Fortnite, the favorite toy.
Yeah.
But I think that here is a good spot to end our first podcast.
So, to sum her up, 2019, not a great year, but
some good games, but
2020 is going to be much better, I reckon.
2020, okay, quick roundup of what we got coming out in 2020.
Let's not. That's another podcast, maybe.
That could be the next podcast.
Yeah.
Oh.
2020, what are we looking forward to? What are we going to do?
I know exactly what I'm looking forward to.
I know exactly what I'm looking forward to as well. And that's the thing. That's, like, 2019 was a year waiting for 2020. That's,
it was
all I was doing.
The, Sony and Microsoft, they probably knew they were coming out with new consoles within a year.
So they slowed down. They completely slowed down.
No.
Yeah.
You nailed it on the head there, mate.
2020 is going to be a good year.
It's a good final thought there.
Yeah.
But,
right. Thank you for listening to our first podcast.
He's been
I have been Ree, and this has been Sam.
And I am Sam, indeed.
This is Sam.
We are the Rejected Gamers. This was the Rejected Gamers podcast.
And love you. Goodbye.
We are Rejected Gamers. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe below and ring that notification bell. Ta-ta!